Sweet.
So welcome back. It's been about 10 months or something since your last fight.
Yeah.
I know you had a little injury there and everything. Just talk about the recovery process and getting in shape and ready to get back in the octagon.
Yeah, so at first round of the Till fight, I'm tearing my MCL. I've had 4 knee surgeries on my left knee, 2 on my right. And so I've, for some reason that injury took a lot longer to heal up than normal. So of course I'm not getting any younger. I'm 36 years old. So it took a little bit of time for the swelling to get down, and it took about 2 months for that to happen. And I was right back into training camp and getting ready for fights, and just couldn't get one, to be honest with you. And I tried to fight Robbie Lawler, it didn't happen. Ponzinibbio, Leon Edwards, and nothing just came to fruition. And then I was actually headed to Denver, Colorado for a snowboarding trip, and I took my phone off airplane mode, and my phone was blowing up. I'm like, what's going on? And I looked down, I saw that Anthony Pettis called me out. I'm like, wow, well, let's get this thing happening. I've always been a fan of Anthony Pettis anyway, just because we have similar styles. Mm-hmm. So I think it's gonna be a fun fight. It's definitely a fight for the fans.
Yeah, and I mean, did you kind of have to digest what the upsides and downsides is? Obviously, he's a former champion. He's not ranked in the welterweight division though, and obviously, the guys you just mentioned are really at the top tier of the weight class. So did you kind of have to balance the risk reward of why this fight would be good for you?
Yeah, we went back and we looked. We're like, this I don't think will move me up in the rankings, but Anthony Pettis was the former 155 champ. He's a very exciting fighter. He's got a big following. So, it's just, number one, it was great because I've been out for so long. I wanted to get back in the octagon, didn't matter who it was with, and he was the only guy ready. And, he was excited about it, I was excited about it, and it just made sense at the time, so here we are.
Yeah, and in terms of the actual matchup, I mean, that must really excite you too, like you just said. You obviously don't want to give away your game plan or anything, but when you look at his style and how it matches up with yours, is there any way this doesn't kind of deliver the fight that I think a lot of people are expecting it to turn out to be?
Yeah, man, I mean, this is definitely going to be a straight-up ninja fight. He's very flashy, and, I like to throw different angles and different kicks and things like that as well. So it's going to be who's the best ninja that night. I know he's very crafty. He's good. He's got great jiu-jitsu, good wrestling. He's very good all around. So I'm prepared wherever the fight goes, and I'm expecting, and the fans are expecting, just a barn burner, and that's what we want to give them.
And a lot of people obviously talk about the size right off the bat because he's moving up. He's fought at welterweight before, but it was when, pre-WEC, UFC, when he was just a kid. Obviously, I imagine, a decade later, welterweights are a lot bigger, cutting weight differently and stuff. Do you envision size playing a role here much, or because it's going to seemingly be a largely striking fight, it's not going to come into play too much?
Yeah, I don't think it will play coming too much. I mean, you don't have to be a big guy or same weight to knock somebody out. And I'm taking this fight very seriously. I mean, he's a veteran out there. He's been in a lot of fights. He knows what he's doing. And like you said, he's fought at welterweight before. So, I'm not taking this fight lightly at all. So I'm going to go out there and give him 100%. Stephen Thompson, and that's what he's going to get. So, I don't think the weight's going to play a difference, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and you mentioned, we did an interview after the Till fight, and you said, it was important to you to maybe make some changes to how you're approaching your fights just to make the results more definitive after some close decisions and stuff. Have you kind of followed through that with this training camp? Have you done things differently at all to maybe see something different from you in there on Saturday?
Yeah, definitely, man. That's something we've been working on, just being a little bit more aggressive, being a smart aggressive. You don't want to be the type of guy that runs in there and gets knocked out, you know what I'm saying? So, being a little bit more aggressive whenever I'm out there in the octagon, just to where my opponent can feel that I'm there, that they have to be on guard at all times. We've been working a lot on my wrestling, and jiu-jitsu, so wherever the fight goes, I'm going to be ready for it. If I want to take the fight down, I can do it.
And you mentioned you don't think this is going to move you up the rankings, but at this point right now, it doesn't seem like it really needs to. I mean, the division has changed a lot in the past couple months. We have Kamaru Usman, the champion. We just saw Jorge Masvidal knock out Darren Till, and your last win is against Jorge. So, it seems to you this is an excellent position you're in right now. All you need to do is win. You don't necessarily need to move up, and you'd seemingly be in a great spot. Is that how you're looking at the division right now?
Exactly. I mean, the division has changed dramatically since the last time I fought. We got a new champion. Darren Till got knocked out by a former guy that I've already beat. So it's kind of up in the air, man. I'm ranked number 4 right now, so any one of us could be fighting for that title again. So we're going to go out there and do work.
Yeah, what was your reaction when Woodley lost the belt? I mean, were you, obviously, I'm sure you would have liked to take it from him, but do you just automatically think, a fresh breath of air kind of comes in your career at that point?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, having a new champion, I knew it was going to be better for my career. Getting another, because somebody wanted to see Thompson and Woodley 3, and I kind of understood that. I figured, I would have to have 2 or 3 more fights before I even get that shot again. And I think this right now that we got a new champion, it's going to be a faster way up.
Yeah, and you kind of look at that top, 3 right now, or top 4 of the guys who are in the discussion. It's, Covington, Usman, you got Ben Askren coming in. They're all kind of wrestler-based fighters, and you obviously come in with the striking background. So when you look at that, is that kind of something you salivate a little bit? Like, obviously you thrive in an area that these guys aren't, their absolute best at.
Yeah, and most of my MMA career have been wrestlers. Jake Ellenberger, of course, Rory McDonald. He's kind of really good everywhere. Johnny Hendricks. So even in Tyron. A lot of these guys have been wrestlers, so yeah, it's something I'm used to, and I do have a better striking game than any one of those guys, but my goal is to be better all around, just to be a better MMA fighter, not just a better striker, but to be a better MMA fighter. So we've been working hard on my wrestling and jiu-jitsu, especially my wrestling defense, to keep the fight standing where I want to keep it. So yeah, man, when I know that these guys are high-level wrestlers, but it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, and it seems like Colby's going to be next for Kamaru, and then where it leaves you after you win this fight, there's a big event coming up in Greenville or in South Carolina. I know you've wanted to fight at home there for a very long time. So is that kind of a natural turnaround time? I know it's only about 3 months away, but is that what you're targeting? Regardless of opponent, you want to be on that card? Yeah,
if I can, man. I mean, hopefully I come out of this fight uninjured. No hurt feet or hands or anything like that, and be able to fight again 3 months later. I got some guys in mind that will, want to fight. I've been wanting to fight for a long time. Lawler, obviously, RDA. So I think that would be a good fight for my hometown. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, is it hard to, when that was announced, I know you tweeted about it, you seemed really excited. Like, was it hard to kind of keep the focus on this for that little bit of time, just to not look forward to, having that big moment? I'm sure you've been dreaming of that for a long time.
Yeah, I think that day when it was announced, I was like, man, they're coming to Greenville, let's go. But then I was like, wait a second, I got this fight coming up. So, after that day, I've been just mostly focused on this. I got to get past this first if I want to fight in June. So, this is my number 1 priority right now. Staying focused with this fight and what Pettis is going to bring. Then we can look at that later.
Yeah, and you mentioned be a ninja fight. Is there any specific avenue you kind of really comes up in your mind when you think about this fight? I'm sure you kind of after the long layoff with this title picture change, you want to make a statement and really show where you belong in this weight class. Right? Oh yeah. So how do you kind of see that unfolding? You know what? That I don't like to go out there and predict the fights or a knockout or whatever. But every time I visualize this fight, it's me with my hand raised, and that's all I'm focused on right now. It's going out there, doing what I know that I can do, and do it at 100%. If I can go out there and do that, I'm going to win the fight.